Hi, I'm Melanie Renaud, your Miss Galaxy Chatham, and you're watching the Pageants and PJs podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pageants and PJs episode. Oh, crap. 80? Is it 80? Someone quick. 79. Sorry, not 80. Our special guest for today is a familiar face, Melanie Renaud, as I said, from the lands of pageants and poutine. Melanie, how are you?
I'm doing great today. Thank you for asking.
I'm doing super. Thanks for asking. How's everything going in terms of pageant prep? We got Galaxy Canada coming up this weekend.
This weekend, yeah. So today was a nice prep day for me. I'm on my friend's farm right now, so that's why it's a little bit different in the background. And I've got her little dog with me, but she's got a lot of room to actually walk around in heels. So, I mean, I've had a lot of time to prepare for this pageant because I signed up last year in February, so not even this past year. But it does seem like it's coming together really fast. Like it's this weekend, and I really can't believe it. So I'm excited.
I'm just picturing you walking around the farm in hills. Sorry.
I grew up on a farm, so like I'm kind of used to it too. But yeah, there's all sorts of animals here. She just opened her own farm market, so I've been helping out this weekend and stayed. Yeah, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's on the farm market? Some fruits, vegetables.
Yeah, they got fresh fruits and vegetables. They have like a lot of local businesses in the area that they're selling their products there too. So there's like tea and ketchup and beans and pickles and like there's some like dog food treats too. Like if you have any pets or anything, like there's some really interesting stuff in there. So she's starting up like as an entrepreneur, opening her own little farm market, and I thought I'd support her this weekend. So I'm still here, just enjoying some little puppy cuddles right now.
Oh, cute.
This is Squish.
And Squish?
Yeah, her name's Squish.
Squish.
So, is that the sound she makes when you step on her?
Probably. I will not say that. She's so small.
I knew you was going to ask that, Adrian.
She looks at you. You know how my brain
works.
What
is your issue with small dogs?
Well, my issue with small dogs is they normally yap and they're terribly behaved because they're so cute. The owner never trains them. That's why they start yapping. Because if it was a big dog and they stepped at you, you'd have to discipline it, because if a big dog accidentally nips a child loses an arm. Whereas if it's a dog the size of Squish or a dog the size of Paris, when it yips at you, you're like, oh, that's so cute. And that's why Melanie has to hold Squish, because otherwise she would yip. That's my issue.
It's not that bad though. Yeah, I was telling Adrian, I have to have her, because whenever I'm here, she's like super attached to me for whatever reason. And I said she's actually not that bad. Like she doesn't yap, but she will whine and try to like get it from the door to get in anyway. So I'm like, I'm just gonna save you guys that hassle of noise.
Thank you.
By just putting her on my lap. Yeah.
I think animals know like animal people, because I had the same thing. As much as I give Chloe grief about Paris, I bet you if I met Paris would be following me everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you guys all like animal people? Do the animals always, and kids as well, do the animals and kids always follow you around, want to play with you? Is it just me?
Yeah.
It means you have the energy to entertain them. If you've got the energy to entertain them, then they'll be around you all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys are all probably young at heart as well. So, I remember I was at a restaurant before Corona hit, I think. And, I'm relatively tall. We were at a Chinese restaurant and I was under the table playing with my 5-year-old nephew. And there were a lot of people watching me, adults. And I think I was embarrassing my family, but I was having great fun. Melanie, my Does your friend's farm have any chickens? I ask this because I've got a couple of chickens out the back. They finally started laying.
Oh my god.
And they are so weird chickens. Yes, they're incredibly stupid, but they're also very, very strange. They started making the weirdest sounds. So does she have like any chickens on her farm?
She's got a bunch of chickens. I love chickens. Like as a kid, I tried like bringing chickens into the house. So like
No, don't do that.
But I love watching them. Like they're so interesting to watch. Like there's them moving around and yet, like the noises they make. Like they're really interesting. But yeah, she's got a bunch. She's got some roosters. She named one of them Big John, and I forget what the other one's name is, but they've got some interesting names. And yeah, they got llamas in the back too. Llamas. I recently learned this. So like there's a pretty bad coyote scenario here. To protect the horses, apparently llamas are predators to coyotes, and that's why they decided to get llamas and put them into where the horses are, so that they protect the horses. I had no idea that coyotes were afraid of llamas, but so there's a tidbit for you if you ever want horses.
Isn't a llama like a goat?
They're like they're bigger than goats. They're like they look like alpaca. Do you know what an alpaca looks like?
A llama is a llama.
Yeah.
It's its own.
But I mean, it's a four-legged herbivore.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
Why is a coyote afraid of a four-legged herbivore?
There's a lot of four-legged herbivores that are not goats.
I mean,
why would a coyote be what? Why should I be afraid of it?
I came across a movie the other day. I think it was either on Amazon Prime or Netflix, and it was called Llamageddon. And like the little picture had a llama with red eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just like glanced at it. I didn't watch it or anything, but yeah.
Maybe the coyotes watched that program.
Interesting.
I think it was on Netflix. The worst movie I've ever seen, Sharknado. If you've ever seen that.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that movie.
Yeah,
there's one.
You can just imagine what it's about. I tried it was painful.
Horrible.
It was so bad it was funny, but not funny because they were trying to be funny. It was funny because it was so bad. Chloe, what were you saying?
There's another one about sharks on Amazon Prime called House Shark, and it's this giant paper mache shark like wrestling with the guys in the movie. It was really badly made. It was really badly made on purpose. And when I was in my sister's house a few weekends ago, we were laughing at these really bad movies. We came across Llamageddon, House Shark. There was one called Killer Sofa, and it looked like it was set in Australia. And we watched the trailer. It looked hilarious. But these movies all looked so bad that I low-key wanted to watch them.
I don't. Sometimes there's like funny bad, and then there's just bad. That's really unwatchable. Bad. Have any of you guys seen the Borat film, the second Borat film?
Ally.
Yeah.
That I didn't watch the first one because at that stage I just couldn't stand Borat, and I didn't like the actor. And then I was watching YouTube and actually watching an interview with what's the actor's name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing. He is so intelligent and well-spoken. I didn't know he was anything like. The first thing I saw was Ali G, and then Borat. It's not exactly my type of humor, so I thought I'm not going to enjoy this guy at all. Then I watched an interview. I thought he was amazing. Then I watched a second Borat film. There are parts in there that are really cringy. I have Melanie's seen. Hard to watch. There's one part where his daughter is dancing. They call it and it's just can't do it. But he does it all like for real. He was almost shot. He needs security. There was one time he was in a hotel and he had a Secret Service person, and he had set up an interview with some U.S. senator, and the U.S. senator had sort of thought something was off because he was playing with Lego on the floor or something. And then he had all the Secret Service in the building looking for him, hunting for him, whilst his own Secret Service guy was trying to keep him safe. It was ridiculous.
Huh.
And I kind of thought that's what I would want to do. That sounds like a lot of fun for me. It's like interviews in the real world. Okay, so Melanie's on a farm. Danielle, what have you been up to?
Oh gosh, well, since the last time we was on, there's been a lot happening.
It was only 3 weeks ago.
I mean, there's been a fair bit, Adrian. There was the Pageant Girl Weekender. We haven't been on since then, have we? So no, the Pageant Girl Weekender where they crowned what was the first
Megan?
one? They crowned Miss International.
Evie.
Yes, Evangeline. And then Teen Pageant Girl, Miss Pageant Girl, and UK's National Miss. So that was quite surreal being back in like pageant land, and not just one pageant, but multiple pageants happening over over 4 days. So that was insane. So it was so nice to be back. And then straight after that, the weekend after, I had Royal. So I'm now getting to a point where all my weekends are now booked up. I'm now having to tell my other half that he needs to schedule in weekends. So past 2 weekends, I've dedicated to him because I know that I'm not going to see him for the next God knows when. And then what else has happened? Yeah, and then we've got Diamond coming up this weekend, and so it's all kind of all kicking back off, which is nice. Sorry to rub salt in the wounds, Adrian. I know you're in the midst of a third lockdown, but it's quite nice to have a bit of normality back.
It is very weird to see you guys at the Pageant Girl Weekender and go, I know where that photo was taken.
Yeah.
I recognize that, I don't know if Melanie will know, but that black and white, the floor with the checkers. It's like, I know where you took that. I know that staircase. I know. It's like, oh. Yeah, don't ask about Australia's lockdown. Let's just say the army is involved at the moment and it's getting worse, not better. Our pals in Melbourne are back under curfew, so they can only go out between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. Otherwise, they have to be at home. So it ain't going so well in the land down under, as you guys would say. Just before I ask Chloe to catch us up, Melissa Gibbons has asked, I guess this could be for Danielle, but I'll assume it's for Melanie. Why did you choose Galaxy? I'm going to assume the system, not the chocolate.
I was just about to say it's the best chocolate.
Do I know that? I don't think I know that chocolate, Galaxy.
Oh, it's a British chocolate.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I say it's like Cadbury, but better.
A million times better.
So is this question for me or?
Yeah, that's definitely for you. I feel people are sick of hearing me talk about Galaxy for the past 2 years.
Well, if you've watched me on like here before, I've mentioned I did pageants as a teenager. So I did Miss Teen Canada World at the time. It's called Miss Teenage Canada now. It's the largest teenage pageant in Canada. And I placed top 10 in my first pageant, which was really cool. And I got a hooked on it for sure, as I'm still here doing them. But I did another one the next year, and I ended up going to internationals for it. And then I took a long break for university and focused on other things that really helped me with personal growth and leadership and just other opportunities in general that I think were worth it. And it brought me here to who I am today. And I had always planned to do a pageant after I graduated. Of course, the pandemic happened right pretty much when I was graduating. So I had the director reach out to me. So I actually knew Cindy from the international pageant I did. She held my title prior to me. So I had met her there, and she and I became friends through that. And she's like, you should do the Galaxy system because I'm the director now. And I was very happy for her. And I was like, I don't know, it's been years. I know I was planning to, and she knew I was planning to, and she somehow convinced me to do it. And I was looking up the system prior, and I loved everything they stood for. And I just kind of I made a decision during the pandemic. I was like, I'm going to have something to look forward to if I do this pageant. And that's honestly a big part of it, was just because I loved what the system stood for. After doing my research, Cindy being involved, and having something to look forward to during the lockdown, during all the time spent at home and preparing for that.
Maybe that's what I should do. Enter a pageant,
Ah.
so I have something to look forward to if lockdown is ever over. Zanny has also said hi to you, Melanie. So hello, Zanny.
Hi.
And just before we move on to Miss Davies to catch us up, this is Galaxy chocolate, Melanie.
Ah, I do like the branding. Very nice.
Yeah, it's better than Cadbury in the UK is better than I think Cadbury in Australia. For some reason, they really are very different, and I think Galaxy is better than Cadbury. So I don't know if it's in Canada.
I feel like it's richer, like it's a little bit like sweeter and creamier than
and it's less powdery. The big difference between the Cadbury in the UK and Cadbury here is kind of like a budget okay chocolate, but the Cadbury over in the UK, it's a lot smoother and richer and milkier, and then Galaxy is kind of like a step past that as well. So I don't know if it's in Canada.
So we have Cadbury here, but it's like always like I think it's caramel filled. Like the ones that I've had are all caramel filled, so it might be completely different, or maybe that's just the kind I'm having.
I think
we have caramel filled, but the original one is just solid block of chocolate.
Okay.
I'm going to be bringing a load of Galaxy chocolate to Galaxy International. So what you need to do is get that crown, and I will be bringing you your own Galaxy chocolate bar. So you get a crown and a chocolate bar.
Worth it. Very worth it, I think.
I remember when I was interviewing Kelsey Poulton, who's a current Miss Galaxy, still current because we haven't had a Galaxy since then. She has the crown box that says Miss Galaxy on it, and people, when she went around, thought that she was representing Galaxy chocolate because they'd not heard of the Galaxy pageant. So people thought in the crown case she was carrying Galaxy chocolate, which I thought was hilarious. It's actually not a bad idea. If you do an appearance, just carry chocolate in your crown case and you can give it to people. Okay. Miss Davies, what have you been up to over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Well, where do I start? Well, to be honest, I have just been working. I went through a bit of a crazy week last week. My nana had COVID. And it's crazy because my nana lives with me, but no one else in my house got it apart from her. So yeah, it just goes to show that like no one's safe, even though we've sheltered her for a year and a half. She went to visit one person, and unfortunately that person had COVID. She was in hospital. She's 83 years old with COPD in her lungs, and she is now back home out of hospital and fully recovered from COVID. So if this is a sign for anyone, then it is get your vaccines. She's double vaccinated. She's 83. She pulled through. And the doctors did say if it hadn't been for the vaccine, then, anything could have happened. So I'm just so blessed and so happy that, she's feeling better and she's back home and she's eating lots again and she's just back to herself, because it's been scary. It has. And when we sent her into hospital, I didn't know if I was ever going to see her again. So to have her back home now is just like the most important thing for me right now. Also, Friday is going to be my last day of work, and here's to new adventures. I'm moving to Belfast for uni in September. God knows what I'll be doing next. I haven't got a job yet in Belfast or anything, but I'm just taking a leap of faith, and I'm just going to do it. Go do my master's. Yay. See where the next adventure takes me. I think sometimes in life you just feel like you just got to get up and go. And after the pandemic, I thought, why not now? So I'm going to do that. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be quite busy too. My best friend Eden's competing in Miss Great Britain, so that's going to be super exciting. And
oh my God, I'm going to see you there. Is that this is the first time post-pandemic that I have seen you?
I know, that's crazy.
See each other each week, but not in person.
Wait a minute. Have you guys actually ever seen each other in person?
We have. I've seen you at Holly's pageants. I can't remember what one. It might have been Power Pageant around, but obviously we didn't know each other as well as what we do now, so it would be a complete different experience. I've like seen Chloe
That
around,
is so weird.
but how
to
weird is
think
I
that?
know. We'll be goofing around, having so much fun.
What was that? Was that the time,
Also,
Chloe, you cut yourself in the shower and was
yeah,
bleeding out
and
everywhere?
and
Okay, that
Naki
time.
had to write a note to say sorry about the blood. But yeah, also me and Amy are going to have a meetup because we haven't seen each other since before the pandemic on the last weekend in August. Oh my goodness, I can't speak at the minute. But we
Mhm.
are going to be in London if Danny will be in the area.
When?
Bank holiday weekend, the weekend of the 28th,
This month.
this month.
I've got my jab in London, my second vaccine on the 28th. So I'll be around on the Saturday. Are you around the Saturday?
We will be, yeah.
Yay!
Okay,
Gonna be
Chloe.
exciting.
Chloe, just prepare your liver now.
Hey! She's Irish, so she's good.
Yeah, but she's human as well. There's only a certain amount of alcohol.
You're making me out to be a raving alcoholic, Adrian. Like, it's just a bit of champagne. It's fine.
Oh no, I thought I'm
Just a
making you
little
out to
bit
be a
of
raving
alcohol.
alcoholic. Do you remember that message that you sent me, Danielle, after
Yes, and you
you
love to remind me of this message all the dang time. I
It's
know.
hilarious.
I had a couple too many glasses.
You,
I was
I
slurring
shouldn't
my
say too much. It
words.
might get her into trouble. Melanie, I got a message on WhatsApp from Danielle.
It's like
So
5 minutes
it
long.
pings, and yeah, it's like one of the voice notes, and I start playing it, and it's like I hit the play button, and like I don't hear anything. I'm like, is it actually playing, or is my phone Bluetooth somewhere that I don't know about it? And then the first word goes, "Oh, it's recording." Oh my god!
We're like, but seeing as I'm here already recording.
Can you imagine? I just had this image, like she's there and she's pressed the button and she's like, "Oh, it's recording." I'm like, "Oh god, how much?" And then you blamed me because you'd had the bottle of gin that I'd sent you, and apparently that made it my fault.
It was a
Well, you
good
did send the
gin.
gin.
Yeah. So it was
I
good gin,
didn't
so I
say
had to finish it.
Was it Sipsmiths?
Oh, also, I've just a few weeks back I was at an event and there was a stand and they had purple gin there.
Purple.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it the
exactly
mystery
the
one?
same. It's the mystery gin. It's exactly the same, but it is made in South Wales. So you've got one in Australia and we've
Ooh.
got one in Wales. And I
Did you
thought,
taste it?
I'd have to. Yeah, it was really good. It was similar. I couldn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I can't really remember what the last bottle tastes like. It was so long ago. That's why. But
That's not what that sounded like. Just for
I'll
the
have to
record.
get you a bottle of that in return, and you'll have to try our Welsh gin.
So, for Melanie and for people watching or listening at home, there is a boutique winery here that does bespoke gin. And Emma Collingridge, Miss Galaxy UK from last year, and she was over here in Australia. And we went up there, and the Hunter Valley in New South Wales is famous for wine, not so especially red wine. If you've ever had an Australian red, a Shiraz, you'll know why I can't drink any other reds, because compared to Australian reds, everything else tastes like it's been watered down.
Ah.
But this place had vodka, I think, and bespoke gin. They'd made gin there themselves. And there was this one really weird one. They called it mystery gin, which doesn't sound particularly promising. It's like, I don't want to be surprised by what's in my gin. But it was purple. And because it's gin, you're not tasting it in wine glasses, obviously, because if you have that much gin, you'll be on the floor. But you taste it out of test tubes. So they had a little pipette, those things that used to suck chemicals up.
Like you're in chemistry class.
Interesting.
Yeah, they'd use that to suck up to exactly, I think it was like 5 mils, and then put it in a test tube, and then you drink it out of a test tube.
A
But
fancy
it was
shot
purple.
glass.
Yeah. And if The purple was from a plant that had natural chemical indicator properties. So if you remember the litmus paper back in chemistry school, where if it's base, it's blue. If it's acidic, I think it was pink. This mystery gin, which was blue, had that property. So if you poured lemon in it or tonic water, it went bright pink. So we were just watching it, and the taste was like Tic Tacs. I think it tasted like orange Tic Tacs. It had the most bizarre taste. It was quite sweet, was not alcoholic. So didn't taste alcoholic. So it was very, very dangerous, because it's one of those things you just drink, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm going to fall on the floor. But then I sent, no, I didn't send it. I took it over to Galaxy UK before the world ended. And yeah, I gave Danielle a bottle. But Danielle, I think you said your dad kept wanting to have it, didn't he?
No, yeah, he loved it. He thought he was fascinated by it. Took him back to his school days, I think. There might even, have I finished it? I can't remember. I know that me and my dad was making our way. I didn't drink the whole thing on my own, okay, guys. Me and my dad were sharing this bottle of
I didn't
gin.
say anything. Don't get so defensive. But because I really like gin and tonics, especially during summer, not so much a winter drink. But when you pour the tonic water in it, it goes from this deep blue/purple to this vibrant pink as you're pouring it. So it's like a really weird chemistry experiment.
So little things in life that please you, isn't it, Aisha? Little things like that.
It's cool.
I actually thought
You go, Claire.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I actually thought for years that I hated gin because I kept tasting gin and tonic. And then, like, I'd say about 2 years ago, I realized that I didn't hate gin and it was just tonic water. When someone gave me tonic on its own, I was like, oh, what's that horrible strong taste? It was just the tonic water. So I actually do love gin now, and I would have it with like lemonade and like appetizer and Fanta lemon. But no, tonic water just has a horrible like taste to it. No.
No, it's a no to tonic water for you, Chloe, is it?
Yeah. Why does it have that weird taste?
Like a tang,
it's like chemicals. Yeah, it's almost like someone put like bleach in your.
Isn't it? Bleach. I'm not Donald Trump, okay? I'm not going around drinking bleach to cure me from COVID.
I can't believe people were actually doing that, though. Oh.
Natural selection, I say.
Oh my God.
That's what someone over here said as well. And it's like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, because I remember, I got to say, I don't miss him, like his behavior and his antics, but you can't say it was less exciting. It was like pageantry. Politics has gone back to being super boring now, which is probably what it should be. Whereas
apart from with Forrest.
Before it was like, let's see what Donald Trump has posted on Twitter, back when he was still allowed on Twitter. But I remember when he was suggesting injecting the bleach or something, and he turned over at the press conference to look at I think it was his medical officer. And his medical officer is basically put on the spot because Donald Trump's going, can we inject the bleach or something like that? And his medical officer has that deer in the headlights look because like, yeah, that's a good idea, but we probably shouldn't do it. And you know that people actually tried doing it afterwards. Some Americans actually were hospitalized because they tried injecting bleach. Because when he was kind of like a cult leader, he kind of still is. And when he says something, people just go and do it. So some people tried it and ended up in hospital. So
I remember he was saying afterwards that he was joking, but I'm like, I don't remember seeing the actual thing. I was like, I'm pretty sure people didn't take it as a joke. Like,
that's not a joke.
No, I don't think he said it.
Any kind of
I don't think he said it. And I'm like, the president probably shouldn't be making any jokes about that stuff either. Like,
I don't think that he was joking. I think he's just stupid because, the likes of bleach kills 99.9% of bacteria. In his head, he just thought, oh, well, if bleach kills 99.9% of bacteria, why don't we get some kind of injection that does the same? But he said it without thinking. So I don't think he was joking. I think he said that to cover his tracks because he said something stupid. Yeah.
Well, the meme that came out afterwards was, and I think it came from the Democratic Party. It was, I think it might have been Pelosi. She tweeted, "Don't take your medical advice from someone who once looked directly at a solar eclipse." because that's what he did. And I was like, burn. Yeah, that's probably true. For the record, I don't actually think he's stupid. I think that's what happens when you speak about a subject that you know nothing about. But I don't think he's stupid. I think he would be. I don't think he's a genius that he proclaims himself to be. But I don't think you get as far as someone like him without knowing a few things. And I mean, you know, he's lost a lot of money, but he's also made a lot of money. So there's some parts of what and he used to be in demand as a public speaker all around the world before he became president. And literally everyone went like, oh, we can't have you as a speaker anymore. You're too controversial. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm watching Biden now and there's nothing really.
But that's how it should be. Just let him take care of business and just sort everything out. It doesn't need to be a song and dance about every single policy and every single issue.
We had
That's their job.
We had 4 years of the Trump show, and after you just, I think it's CNN, the American channel, their ratings during Trump's reign, Trump's 4 years, they were the highest. They had doubled or tripled, highest it's ever been. Guess what happened once? Because every day was Trump this, Trump that. Guess what happened after he left office? Guess what happened to their ratings?
Plummeted. But maybe
In
then
the toilet.
they can focus on real news, not the fake news.
Yeah, but they got used to being that. They got used to covering that.
But that's
sort of
lazy
stuff. That's why people
journalism.
were watching.
Lazy journalism.
Oh, I'll let Melanie talk about journalism. There's been a lot for journalism, I think, to answer for on a kind of a serious note on both sides. I was watching this debate just yesterday. It's not just the right wing and Fox News. You look at the left side and look at some of the things that they've been saying. Yeah. And it's just as out there and factless as some of the stuff you've seen on the right. Melanie, as a journalist yourself, can you just give us your thoughts on that? Because I look at it and go, geez, yeah, both sides are screwy. Don't know who to listen to.
That's how I feel too. I feel like everything's kind of moved away from the unbiased in the middle type journalism, and it's either really on the left or really on the right. And you're finding like some of the, I would say, news corporations that I found more reputable are saying some really weird stuff now too. So I have my own personal thoughts about what's going on, and it's basically changed a lot within the past 2 years. I'd say the past 2-3 years, it's been a lot more completely left or completely right, and not what I was initially taught in journalism, like the kind of journalism that you want to see. But if you do your research and you know what you're looking for, you can find the right news for you, right? But I know when I'm looking at news, I want facts. I don't want like necessarily opinions and for it to be completely biased. And you can tell by reading something if it's super biased. So that's not what we were taught in school, and that's not what I want to look for when I'm looking at the news. And honestly, during the pandemic, I feel like I had too much news thrown at me.
Yeah.
I wanted to just shut it all off. And like, as a journalist, that's not something good. Like, because you should want to read the news. That's what you're, passionate about. But no, it's just too much.
But the whole world was divided, and you were either on one side or the other, and there was no real fact sharing or.
No.
Yeah. I think what happened is they locked everyone down, and everyone had too much time on their hands, and we were obsessing over the news. Yeah. I remember like every day at 6 o'clock we had to turn on the news. Like we had to see what Boris's next announcement was every single night. We were just like glued to our TVs, and that got us all to the stage where we were obsessing over every last detail. And we couldn't go out, we couldn't see our friends, we couldn't socialize. So it was driving everyone a bit crazy.
On social media.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's nice now that like, people are starting to get out again. Like here in the UK, I'm sorry that you're not, Adrian, but hopefully you start getting out soon and socializing, and maybe the news will get more relaxed.
When we were in lockdown, I was watching like some of the Australian girls' Insta stories, and they were all out partying, living their lives, and I was sitting at home all upset, and now the shoes are on the other foot.
There was okay, I'm just going to say this, anti-vaxxers, all right, before the pandemic, I would have said, in some ways getting a jab, like before the pandemic, it was like, okay, if you don't feel like you want to get it or need to get it, that's fine. Whatever. And I was quite hippie, probably 5-10 years ago. I was, vegan, raw foodist, all that stuff. But now it's like, as Chloe just said with her nana, people still going on about being anti-vax. It's a joke, not a fact in sight. But what there was in Melbourne, these bunch of anti-vaxxers, they threw an engagement party with 69 guests. I know, not a joke, 69 guests. As is their wont, someone filmed it, posted it on social. Everyone saw it. They've all been hunted down. They've all been fined to the tune of, I think it's $3,500 each. So that engagement party has cost $350-something thousand because of they recorded it, and they were all recorded making their speeches and joking about not wearing a mask, and there was a doctor there, and they were all, and now $350,000 later, and that's now a super spreader event because now the government's the arm that looks at that does the contact tracing needs to trace everyone who was there, the 69 people, and everyone knows 2 or 3 people. So it's just beyond a joke. It was right after that Melbourne got thrown back into curfew. So we're not thinking we'll be out of this until probably the end of the year. And our Premier has said we now need to learn to live with it, which is a subtle change. So what's happening in the UK, that's what you guys are doing now. It's like you're learning to live with it. Yes, there are cases, but you're not pretending it's ever going to go back to zero until probably the last 24, 48 hours. Our goal in Sydney, New South Wales, was still to try and get to zero, elimination. Now they're saying that's not going to be possible. So now we need to get as many jabs into arms as possible. And they're looking at when we hit 70 or 80%, that's when they say they will stop doing lockdown events. Whether they stick with that or not, I really hope they do stick with it, because otherwise, what's the point? But I think the UK, I think yesterday had like another 30 or 50,000 cases. So what's the situation in the UK like? Is it kind of back to normal and everyone has forgotten that Corona exists? Because that's kind of the image that I get.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much. I think a lot of people are still wearing their masks out. It's really divided, actually. I'd say there's probably like half and half. I'd say 50-50. Whenever I walk into like a supermarket, half the people wearing masks, half the people not. Wales, we had slightly different rules. We've only just now done away with the rule of having a mask, but the majority of people here are still wearing it. But it feels a lot more normal, especially since being at the Pageant Girl Weekender. It was eerie. It was so eerie to be that normal, and for everyone to be lounging around in the park hall. And we had a singer on one night, and everyone was up singing, dancing, and it was basically a big old party. And it was a bit like, oh gosh, like it's a bit like, the social anxiety kicks in a little bit thinking about Corona. Who's jabbed, who's not. But I don't think there were any cases from it. We were advised to do a rapid flow test every single day, which we all, I'm guessing I did, and I didn't get COVID. I've been doing them quite regularly, and I still haven't had it. I've swerved it. I don't know how I haven't managed to catch COVID. But yeah, it does feel back to normal in a sense.
Wow.
Weird.
I watch TV. Like, I was watching She's the Man yesterday, and for whatever reason, they're not wearing masks in my head. I'm like, why am I thinking this way? Movie made in the early 2000s. Why am I thinking, they're not wearing masks? You're like,
Watching like a classic black and white show, Gone with the Wind
Oh.
or My Fair Lady. They're not wearing masks.
When they blow out the candles, they're like, "Oh, gotta eat that cake." Not me.
Oh, I would think it would be weird because I think the first time that in Australia we get back together and have a giant party, I think you'd almost feel like, you know, when you're being a naughty kid and your parent comes into the room and you know that you've been busted. I think it would be the same feeling for all of us. We're like, we're having a party. Are we allowed to do this? And you're just kind of expecting the police or the army, in our case, to kick the door down and go, "Oh, you're not allowed to be doing this. You're not allowed to gather. You should be wearing." But I remember at the beginning of this when people were joking that masks were going to become a fashion item, and of course now they have. I don't know how much money has been made on like Etsy stores.
I've had
with people
3
making
silk ones. Lost all 3 of them.
silk.
I get makeup all over them, and they're so hard to clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were a bit.
I just pop it in the washing machine.
Mine still
Not
have
your disposable one.
No matter what I did, but like
I hand washed my silk ones.
yeah.
How did you lose them?
I've no idea. Must have fallen out of my bag. I had 3. I had a nude one, I had a black one, and I had a burgundy one in the winter because it matched my
Burgundy.
Yeah.
Pageant stylist.
Yeah.
So I was literally going to buy some more recently, and I thought, well, they're doing away with the mask thing. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but Jordan is very much he has quite a lot of social anxiety around people because obviously only in Wales recently have they done away with the rule. So we've been used to wearing masks here, but I've been going to England pretty much every weekend, and no one's been wearing masks there for the past month. So I was like, oh, well, I'll stick wearing masks with him because he's a bit more cautious. So I thought, do I invest in getting some more silk masks? I don't know.
I can't.
Because they're not the cheapest, and if you lose them,
I don't have the silk ones. I've just got the disposable ones.
But I want to look nice. I want to match my outfits with them because there's nothing worse than having a really cute outfit for getting your mask and having to get a disposable one. It's not chic.
Yeah.
The only place that I'm allowed to go is the supermarket. So no one. I don't have an outfit to go shopping. I really don't.
Are people dressing up to go to the supermarket still, like there, or what? Like,
hey, look, sometimes I do as well. Like, honestly, it's gone to the point where putting on a pair of jeans rather than a pair of track pants, that actually feels like an adventure.
Yeah.
It's that level of crazy. It's like, oh my God, I'm wearing proper pants. I mean, I know the UK pants means something different, but trousers. And just, I can't remember the last time I wore a collared shirt. Like, I've only ever worn my jacket since Galaxy UK for an interview.
Up right now.
Oh, this is a top. It's just a
polo.
fleecy top. But yeah, I don't think I've worn my suit properly since I was back in UK Galaxy. I mean, like, why would I? I'm not going to wear it at home. Maybe I should. At this rate, be the only time I get to wear a suit, wear a tux for the next 5 years. But did you guys see the masks that had the mouths on them? So it looked like you weren't wearing a mask.
Kind of freaky.
Yeah, those are weird.
It was fun.
Yeah, like ones with beards on them.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok with a guy, and he was wearing one of those. And I initially didn't think it was funny, but then I saw the TikTok and I went, I couldn't tell he wasn't. He was wearing a mask. Didn't look like it. So, but yeah. So that in the UK things are kind of back to normal. Chloe, in Ireland, is it back to normal?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, it is here anyway, but I do know that there has been a lot of cases around the area in Derry. So I left work because of my nana. So I took my computer home, and I've been working from home the past 2 weeks. Well, last week and this week. So this is my second week of working from home. And then on Friday, that's me done work forever. But after I left to go home, I noticed a few emails that were being sent out by management to try and encourage everyone who was in the office to go home and work from home if you can. So that to me kind of indicated that cases were on the rise here in Derry. And then also from, rumors and things like that the hospital's now crowded. It kind of makes you think maybe that's why they're sending us home. Maybe it's getting bad again here. Maybe it's something to keep an eye on. But I really hope we don't end up in another lockdown. But it's kind of concerning when work is sending out emails trying to encourage everyone to go home. So yeah.
I don't know how you guys would deal with another lockdown. I mean, for me, this is really the second one, not third, second proper one, and it's a lot harder the second time around, at least for my sake, because you kind of thought it was done, and then you have to do the whole thing again, and it just feels like, well, what was the point of everything that we sacrificed before if it just comes back again? That's kind of why, for me, this second time or third time, sixth time round, you lose track. It feels harder than the first time, because the first time it was a bit of, I'm not going to say it was fun, but in a way for a lot of us, it was kind of an adventure because we had to stay home. We couldn't go to work. We were finding out about things like Clubhouse. A lot of people got into TikTok during Corona, and it was all this fun stuff. People were doing dances at home. Melanie puts her hand up. But this time around, it's not novel. It's like you can leave now. Like 2020 was last year. Please go away. But it's our case numbers now, I think, are worse than they were in the first lockdown. And I think this will be definitively and objectively worse than our first lockdown. So that's Australia, UK, Ireland. Melanie, in Canada, is it back to normal?
Gyms are open. So that means that we can do a lot more here. People are still wearing masks everywhere. We're supposed to wear our masks, unless there's something outside and you keep your distance. So it's kind of the same thing. But the malls are open, the gyms are open. So we do have a lot more freedom here. But I know there's certain trends that they follow. So I hate to say it, but I think that we're probably going to end up in another lockdown or maybe lose something in the fall, because that's just how it goes. It goes like this, and then they call it early, and then they so they look at major holidays too, and they kind of decide we think it's going to spike then, so they close probably before. So I'm going to stay optimistic, but I've been watching what the trends are, and who knows, right? I'd rather be realistic about it, but I think for the most part, most people have gotten their vaccines and things feel a little bit more normal right now. So I can't complain right now. But the fall might not be fun for everyone. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's and obviously summer, the heat and sunlight are all proven to be the good things to get rid of, to keep the numbers down. And once you lose that, because bear in mind, obviously being in Australia, we're the opposite of you guys, so we're still in winter at the moment. Although it's been unseasonably warm the last couple of weeks, but the winter just makes it worse because everyone's inside. You're inside, you're not moving around much, you're probably not eating the best, and it's all, the perfect breeding ground for Corona. Has America decided to let you Canadians in yet? Because that was in the news the other day. I remember you telling me this. So they're allowed to go into Canada, but you're not allowed to they're not allowing you guys in. Has that changed?
No, it's still that. So they're allowed to come here, but we're not allowed to go there.
What?
I don't understand.
It's the same with the UK as well.
Is it?
Well, the Americans allowed to come here?
Yep. Fully vaccinated Americans can come here, but we can't go there.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me though, because I feel like Canada has less of a population, and I feel like we have more of our things together. I mean, it goes by states, but this whole time, I'll tell you, Michigan's right across the pond, and they've been just running wild since they go to Florida, they come back, they don't have any restrictions. This is before the vaccines were even a thing, and I'm just so surprised. I just have there, so I watch their Snapchats and she's in Florida. I'm like, what is going on?
I've been so envious of all the the pageant girls in America, because obviously they can dot around all the different states. And I'm like, America's like pretty much the same size as the whole of Europe. Why am I not allowed to go to a European country and you're allowed to jump around the states?
Yeah.
Like, our countries are the size of your states.
Yeah. There was a period of time that we weren't allowed in Quebec, I think it was Quebec. We're allowed there now, but so they had like some cross provinces where you weren't allowed, but now we're okay with that. But we still can't drive literally 30 minutes to the States. Like, we can't do that right now.
How did the Canada Galaxy girls? I mean, it was worth their trip going to Junior Galaxy, wasn't it? Because they swooped all 3 crowns. But how did Cindy swing that?
They would fly in. So like, we can fly in. We just can't drive.
You can fly into America, but you can't drive into America. Okay, that makes complete sense.
Yes, you can fly in. Pretty sure, like you still have like a lot of the same rules though. Like you can't. I'm pretty sure
I don't understand any.
We can't fly in though.
Any of this.
I haven't flown anywhere, so like I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure they do like a test before you get onto the plane and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure you still have to quarantine when you come back, unless that's been lifted because of the vaccines recently. I have to look into that because I just don't look at it because I know I'm not going anywhere right now. It's not worth it for me to even look at it. But
it was last February Trump put a law in place to not allow the UK or Ireland to fly into America, and I just feel like Biden's forgotten about it, or Trump tucked it away under somewhere and he's forgotten about us, because he just hasn't lifted this law yet. And like, we're all vaccinated. Well, a lot of us are, the majority are. So I don't get why fully vaccinated Americans can come here, but we can't go there.
Makes sense.
It just doesn't make sense.
I don't understand it at all. I don't understand a lot of this. I mean, you can even just see from when we're speaking, our countries have dealt with it very, very differently. In some cases, not dealt with it at all. But I was watching this comedian talk about how Americans were allowed into Canada, but they hadn't allowed Canadians into America, and he said he couldn't understand it because he said Canada is it's like America without the personality disorder. His words, not mine. And he was an American. He's an American comedian. He's just brutally honest. He said Canada. He's like, Canada is like America without the personality disorder. I'm like, that's actually really, really funny. But I think we're way past the point now where this is going to ever get back to zero. I think it's now, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have to deal with it. Everyone should go out and get their jabs, whichever ones are available to you. We've got Pfizer, the AZ, AstraZeneca, and I think we're bringing Moderna over.
Yeah,
as well.
I've had the Moderna. I didn't know anyone in the UK that had the Moderna. I know quite a few Americans that had the Moderna because it's the American one. But I remember I sat down to have my jab, and I was like, well, what am I having? Is it like Pfizer or AstraZeneca? He's like, no, you got the Moderna. I was like, what? Okay. I don't know anyone in the UK. And I was like, okay, great. I'm the guinea pig over in the UK.
Well, was it 2 jabs? Moderna's 2?
I've had one, yeah. The second one I'll be having on the 28th.
Right. Okay. Well, how were the side effects for you after the Moderna one?
I had a bit of a backache and a bit of a headache, but I feel like they were kind of the symptoms that were associated with COVID, the ones that were unlisted, because here in the UK it's like a cough, cold and flu-like symptoms. Well, a lot of people that I know that actually had COVID here that tested positive had a headache and a backache, and that's it, and didn't have a stuffy nose or didn't have the fever-like symptoms. Jordan just had a backache and a headache, and I just said to him, go get tested, and he had it. So they're the symptoms that I had. I don't know why they're not listed on the NHS website, but
that's funny, because that's the same side effects I had from the vaccine. I had the Pfizer one. I had a headache and I had a bit of a backache, but I thought that was because I'd played tennis. So maybe it was the vaccine as well.
I just felt tired, lacking of energy, and just wanted to lay down.
That too. I just pass out for 24 hours. I didn't have the energy to do anything. Chloe, what were your side effects?
Yeah, I had a really bad backache as well. Like, it almost felt like my spine was hurting. I felt like I'd done a full body workout. I was exhausted as well as that. I had a
Yeah.
really bad headache. I just felt horrible that entire day and the next day. And one more thing was I had a high temperature, so I was sweating in the night. I woke up and my bed was soaking because I sweated so
Mm.
much in the night. And that's not something that I normally do. I don't normally like overheat or sweat in my sleep. So it was so weird.
Hopefully not.
But yeah.
Just lying
But
in bed every night. I'm just like swimming in a pool of my own sweat as usual.
no, it was yeah, it was just so strange. Like overall, I just felt really horrible. Like really, really horrible.
Melanie, what about you?
The fever for sure. Like that was the most noticeable thing. But I will say this: my brother tested positive for COVID last year. I didn't get it with him,
Right.
but he lost his taste and smell, and that was all he experienced. Like, so he had just said, like, I can't taste or smell anything, but he wasn't sick at all. He didn't have any other symptoms. He was totally fine. And then we're like, that's so weird. And then he got tested and he had COVID.
Has it come back? Has his sense of smell and taste come back? Or
Oh yeah,
is it still...
oh yeah, he's
Okay.
good for that. But like, I heard it from other people too. So I was curious if that had been something that you guys had, like, not from the vaccine,
a lot of people.
but
we have a woman at work that got COVID in March and she still hasn't got her sense of smell or taste back.
yeah, that was
wow.
My sister-in-law had the same deal, and she didn't get it back for like 2 months, 3 months. Her taste and smell, but my brother was back to normal. So it's like different for different people that have gotten COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm not, but I haven't, anybody that's had the vaccine, I haven't heard that part of it. So I think that those symptoms are just from COVID itself. But it's just the weirdest thing because he had no other symptoms, like nothing. And if he hadn't had said that, maybe he wouldn't have even got tested. Like, so, yeah.
Kind of, I haven't heard about that as a side effect from the vaccine, but just thinking about it now, that would really suck, wouldn't it? I mean, the sense of smell, okay, but sense of like being able to taste anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our favorite foods, everyone. Can you imagine you just go to eat your favorite food and you can't taste it anymore? I mean, that'd be, you can't taste your fries or your chicken or your chocolate or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just like doesn't taste. I heard a bizarre case. I don't know if it's just an isolated one where she's had a sense of taste, but everything had changed. So what she liked before, now she couldn't stand. Some of her favorite foods made her nauseous. So that was even a stranger case. She hadn't lost her sense of taste, but it had like got crossed over in her brain or something. So now what she used to love would make her nauseated. So that's really
crazy.
I think she said she lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
she didn't want to eat the food anymore.
Yeah, the woman at work, she kind of eats the same thing at lunch, and if you're in the UK and you're watching this, we have like a tuna
crackers,
like pasta thing that comes in a packet. They taste like cat food. And I looked at her.
Like cat food.
You tasted cat food?
Oh, it's awful. They're like snack lunchtime things. I looked over at her and I just knew. I didn't realize she'd lost her sense of taste. And I looked over at her and I was like, "You're not about to eat." The last person I saw eat one of those threw it up immediately. They're that bad. They're awful. And she was like, "Oh, it's fine. I can't taste it anyway." And she's like, just there eating it. I'm like, how? But she can't smell it and she can't taste it, and they're healthy. So I think she's lost a fair bit of weight. And she was. We were talking about going to. Yeah, you know the ones.
And like the tin.
The like tin, like hexagonal.
Horrible. Yes, I hate those.
Pasta in a tin.
Yeah.
Pasta in a tin.
It's
Pasta
like these little
tuna
in a tin, and they open it. Looks like cat food. It's horrible.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
We're talking about going to, the restaurant because one of our team members is leaving. So we're talking about going to this nice restaurant. We were all getting excited looking over the menu, and she's a bit like, "Oh, it's a waste of money for me, isn't it? Because doesn't matter what I order, I'm not going to be able to taste it." So
strange.
yeah, it's a bit sad.
There is something about the canned tuna and opening it, and it just looks and smells like cat food. My ex-girlfriend, who was Canadian, ironically enough, she felt I was doing too much of the cooking. So she decided in her wisdom that she would cook a meal to surprise me. And we had just gotten a slow cooker. But you know, some people just have a knack for certain things and some people don't.
Yeah.
So she basically made what Danielle and Chloe were describing, tuna, I say tuna pasta, but they make fun of me if I say pasta. So
Pasta.
tuna pasta.
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 That's unusual for a Canadian to say pasta. I would have thought you guys,
Yeah.
pasta. But tuna pasta, right? That's what she decided she'd make. But for some reason, she cooked it and then thought what would make it more haute cuisine would be to put it in the slow cooker. So, and then we were coaching tennis. She left the pasta in the slow cooker for like a couple of hours. When we got back to the apartment, the smell, it just smelled like I was a cat food factory, because that's basically, I think, what cat food is. It's like tuna that's been cooked into the tin. And it was all baked, because there's no liquid in the tuna pasta. It's all baked into the bottom of the slow cooker, and you could turn it upside down and it wouldn't come out.
Should not put any water in there?
No. Not that would have made it any better.
Interesting.
Pasta that's cooked and then slow cooked again. So to this day, the smell of tuna pasta, it's like,
you can't have it anymore.
Not for me. But pasta should not come out of a can. I'm just going to say that.
No.
Pasta does not come out of a can.
It's horrible.
No.
That particular thing that she's talking about has turned my stomach before. Like, I tried to eat it one time and it made me really nauseous.
Everyone's done it once and once only.
Yeah, you look at the packet and you think, wow, this is healthy. There's no calories in this. I'll eat it. And
calories?
Oh, no.
There's
it's like
very little
protein, and the marketing is very good. Making it look very healthy and on the go kind of lunch. But no, you don't. No.
What's the weirdest thing? And we'll wrap up with this weird question. What is the weirdest thing you guys have ever seen in the supermarket that's in a can? For me, it was and every time I go to the supermarket, because this is now my daily adventures, I get to go to the supermarket. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in a can is chicken. Canned chicken.
A whole one?
Yeah, the whole, and it's still milk. Wow. No, just like bits of it.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty normal here.
Chicken and gravy.
Yeah.
Canned chicken? Ugh.
Well, it's like the same thing as canned tuna. So like, you grab canned tuna, there's canned chicken. It's just not as potent as tuna. Like, no.
We have a guy at work that has chicken curry in a can.
Interesting.
Doesn't look too bad, actually, once you heat it up.
I actually hate those canned sausages, like those American-styled sausages. They are horrible. Like, I don't know why people like them. And if someone handed me a hot dog with those American sausages in it, no.
See,
like it has to be.
I was just gonna say something similar, but I think they were like German. So I was like in the international foods section, because I like looking down there and trying new things. And I saw like they were in a jar, actually, not necessarily a can, jar, but they were like hot dogs in a jar of liquid.
Yeah.
And
that here
was like, because the person I was with is from Romania and also has been to Germany. Like, yeah, they're German. I was like, weird. Like, what do they taste like? It looks like what pickles are in a jar with. Like, why is there hot dogs in a jar with liquid? But we actually tried them and they were good. Brought them home.
Yeah, German sausages. Isn't that the ones we get at carnivals? And they're huge.
They were, you get them long, but they were like in like a pickle, almost like a pickle jar type size. Right?
Yeah.
it was just so weird for me to see because I've only ever seen like hot dogs or in packages, like never in a jar. Yeah, but they actually did taste good. So just I was like,
Okay.
what is this?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about sausages out of a jar. But,
Yeah.
like half the time you don't know
Tin.
what's in a sausage anyway. And if you actually found out what was in sausages, particularly hot dogs, you probably wouldn't want to eat them anyway. Like the ingredients you'd think for sausages should be meat. And then you look at the back of the ingredients, you know, and I do this all the time because back from my days as a raw foodist, I needed to know what was in it. And you look, it's like, this chemical, that sodium nitrite, chloride, something, probably the stuff that Donald Trump was talking about, the chlorohydroxychlor, whatever, that's probably in it as well. And it's just like the ingredients list takes up half the back of the pack, and you're like, I probably shouldn't be eating that.
I don't know how. Sorry, I don't know how people eat Spam.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
Oh, my stepdad eats it all the time.
Spam is like
Yeah.
it's like fancy cuisine for some people. There's like spam ingredients. It's like 20 dishes that you can make with spam. And like the first one is always get spam out of can.
I think it's quite. Is it Korean where they eat a lot of spam as well?
Yeah,
Korean and
like
Japanese
spam,
culture.
and you add it to your mee goreng noodles, and it's like, oh, it's fancy now. It's like, guys, what are you doing? You got your quick noodles with God knows what's in it, and then you're taking out this spam out of the can with what? Then they chop it up and they go, oh, I feel so chefy because I'm chopping
grill
up
it
my spam,
and then turn it over with chopsticks.
Yeah, and they put chili on it, and it's like, oh, salt and pepper. Look, and I'm like, oh, guys. Anyway,
what's the weirdest? We in the UK, I don't know if you have it elsewhere, but you can actually have a pie in a can. Frey bento, is it bento's pies? Right, Frey bento's pies. I think we've actually got one in the house. I'll probably go get one. Jordan likes them. You basically just use a can opener. It's quite a circular, not like the traditional can. They're more like a
shorter,
like
and fatter.
Yeah, shorter
like
and fatter around. And then you just cut the top off, and you can stick it in the oven as it is in the base of the tin, and then you just cook it in the oven in its can, and then it's pastry. Obviously, there's pastry on the outside, and then the filling on the inside. We actually have one in the house somewhere. I don't eat them, but we do have one.
I tried a mug cake for the first time during lockdown. I'd never had one before, and I bought myself one for like, I don't know, I was like, I'll try it out, and it was okay. But like you put it into a mug and you throw it in like either the microwave or the oven, like, and that's it.
Yeah, I saw the first time I heard about mug cakes made in the microwave. I'm like, you're kidding, right? This is some sort of TikTok thing that half the people, when they do it, they blow up. But Giselle, who we've had on the podcast, I think it was an episode where Dania wasn't on, but Chloe was. Had been Giselle's birthday, and she'd made herself a microwave cake, which I gave her grief for, because if you know how to bake, you don't make a microwave cake. But I've not, just the idea of, because you need a mug, you got a handle, you want to do this, right? That's what.
It's
so
like
what do you do with the cake?
Though, like
a creme
with the mug, like it's like a bigger mug. Like you could eat
like a souffle.
You could eat soup,
like a flatter one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just googled the weirdest things to come out of a can, just out of curiosity, and one of the things here says squid in the Philippines. They have cans of squid. What? Bird's nest.
What?
In China.
Oh, okay.
Silkworm poppy, whatever that is. Rattlesnake.
To eat?
What?
Snakes in a can.
Fish mouths in Russia.
Fish mouth.
Yeah. Cheeseburger.
What?
How do you get the cheeseburger in a can? Apparently they do that in Sweden.
Wow.
This is actually making McDonald's sound appetizing by comparison.
Cheeseburger in a can.
Well, maybe that's where they get their cheeseburgers, though. We don't know. Maybe
crickets.
So
roasted crickets with eggs. Ew.
With eggs?
Chloe,
Yeah.
the bird's nest, right? Back up for a sec. The bird's nest. You said it's from China, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a bird's nest
Okay.
drink.
Okay.
Bird's nest drink in a can from China. I don't know what's in the.
Do you guys know what bird's nest is in terms of the Chinese dish? Okay. Here's one that you'll like. And this is where I just go, what's wrong with Chinese people? And I say that as a Chinese person. The bird's nest is it's a certain bird that goes to make its nest with the saliva. So it makes this kind of like a plasticky, textury kind of thing. And it makes it, I think, it high up in the mountains. So, of course, because it's rare and hard to get to, that's why Chinese love it, because Chinese love things that are rare, because it makes it, if you're rich, you have to be rich to afford this. So bird's nest is literally a bird's saliva, and it is turned into a dish. And my cousin, this is the Chinese medicine side of it, would used to have sparrow, I think it was sparrow saliva or swallow saliva every day as a medicine to make him manly or intelligent or fertile. I don't know. It's always one of those three things with us Chinese.
The bird spit.
Yeah, he was drinking bird spit. So the bird's going like to make its nest. And here comes the Chinese going, I have some of that. Oh, yeah, I feel like I can fly now. I'm like, oh. So that's what the bird's nest is.
I feel
and
like
they turned into a drink.
For him, it's probably like a mentality thing. Like, like the
placebo.
Placebo effect. Like he drinks is like, wow, I'm such a man now.
Melanie. The other thing that Chinese would have is tiger penis, like, because that would make them more like a man. And just to prove that this doesn't work, right? This same cousin, my brother and my cousin, we were all going for a walk near the beach. My cousin, because he wanted to impress us, decided, I'm going to go climb that tree. And we didn't really like him. Anyway, we still don't. He goes and climbs up the tree to show off. And we're like, yeah, cool. He got stuck. Couldn't get down. We walked off and left him there. So just because you eat parts of a cat doesn't mean you become like a cat. And it doesn't mean you're a man, because you didn't, like, if you had gone and wrestled the tiger with your bare hands and killed it, I would have some level of respect for you. But if you take out a giant gun and shoot something, or you're just eating it out of a can or out of a jar, there's zero level of respect, just zero. And it's horrible. But Chinese.
What about the roasted cricket? That sounds horrible.
Actually, they taste, I've not had them, but insects, because in Southeast Asia, because a lot of them were very, very poor, they had to rely on animal protein. And apparently, because you salt them, they actually taste quite nice. They're like crackers. How they look, you'd have to get used to it. But also insect protein apparently is one of the best for our planet because it's so readily available. So there's a lot of people who think we're going to be eating a lot more insects. And I do think that's what we'll end up doing.
I was going to say,
they make flour.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Isn't chocolate crickets like an Australian thing? That's what I thought.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
A bush tucker trial.
That's what I heard. That it was like an Australian thing. Chocolate crickets.
I don't know. I've not heard of that one.
No. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong country, but I'm pretty sure that's.
If we had anything to do with cricket, to be Vegemite. With us Aussies, it's always got to be Vegemite, something or other. So you take a cricket, stuff it full of Vegemite, and say
be cricket mite.
Yeah, it'd be horrible. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not a fan of Vegemite.
I have not eaten insects, so I have no the sound of it makes me feel very weird.
Intentionally.
Yeah, I think the average person eats. Hold on, let me search it.
So 8 spiders there in their lifetime.
Oh, I used to read like that they go into your mouth at night sometimes. I grew up on a farm and I'd find spiders underneath my pillow all the time. And I'm not surprised when I see a spider anymore. Like, unless it's like a huge one that should not be in this part of the world. Like, I'm like, this belongs in Australia.
Which part of the world? Our spiders
Apparently,
aren't the biggest. Our spiders will just kill you. There are bigger spiders. Like you've seen some of these tarantulas
Florida
and
has some big
bird
ones,
spiders.
actually.
this
They
this
horrify
can't
me. Yes, Chloe.
this can't be true. It says in Pennsylvania, they released a report to say it's estimated that the average individual eats 1,000 or 140,000 insect pieces every year.
Pieces,
140,000.
pieces. So like bits in the air.
No, I think that's
When
eating.
wind
But I can see
or
that
in your
because if you think about,
food.
140,000
because
though,
flour, all
140,000
of
in a
us,
year.
yeah, because if you think about flour, for example, which is processed from the wheat, and how many insects would just be in there, even if they clean it, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that we would have eaten a lot of. And look, it's protein, and it's not going to kill you. So
We've definitely all had a fly into our mouth at some point that we've definitely not spat
Yep.
out.
I've
in
done
full.
that. I've had one go up my nose. I haven't one gone in my ear yet. That's the one that freaks me out. Something going in my ear, and then you can hear it scratching around.
You know, when a little
Oh.
tiny fly flies into your eye, and then you have to like get a little dead fly out your eye.
It's so bad when you have contacts on. It's
Contact
horrible.
lenses.
Oh, it's horrible.
I had that. I had that once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're trying to get the fly out without getting your contact lens out in a public bathroom.
Yep.
And then once you take it out, you can't see it. I was so blind before I had the surgery done. Like I couldn't find my glasses without them. It was terrible. I once had a one of my contact lenses fall out in the middle of a cinema. Like this is back when we had intermission, and for some reason my eye was itchy. I rubbed it, and the contact lens out of one eye fell out. So then I had to go back and to watch the second half of the movie like this. It was terrible.
Oh, no.
Anyway, well, that was an interesting conversation about insect pieces. So, Chloe, not insects for you. No, you wouldn't try it. You've been to Vietnam. I'm sure they would have eaten insects there.
No, I think everything we kind of had was more like fish dishes. Like they were very into the fish where we were, and we stayed at some incredible hotels where they literally had anything you fancied. They had like a pasta station if that's what you wanted, or they had like fish dishes or like pizza. They just had everything. The hotels we stayed at catered for everyone. They had like lots of desserts, lots of like worldwide food that everyone ate. So we did like try a few of their like special dishes, but most of them were fish based. I really enjoyed the crab soup. That was my favorite. Yeah, it was beautiful. It kind of had the same texture as the chicken and sweet corn soup that you would get in the Chinese. But you know that gooey taste, but it's salty and it tastes really good. Yeah, I like that. But a lot of the girls like were freaked out by it because a lot of the girls don't like fish. But yeah, I'm open to trying anything. But roasted crickets, I don't think I would.
They wouldn't have taken you to the markets either, because that would have been too wild, controlling like 80 plus contestants from all around the world in a Vietnamese food market would just be impossible. Yeah, I'm not surprised you haven't tried any of that.
Yeah.
If you like the crab soup, then Chloe, you might actually like what us Chinese call porridge. The Chinese word for it's congee or juk, which is actually it's nothing like your guys' idea of porridge with the sweet in the morning. It's made out of rice and it's savory, and you can have crab porridge or chicken porridge or beef porridge, and that's actually one of my favorite dishes. As long as you can understand it's not what you guys think of as porridge.
Right.
It's really, really, really nice. Yeah, anyway, we've been on for a minute. So we'll go around the room, as you guys know. You can bring us up to date with anything exciting that's going to happen over the next week or so. Why don't we start with Melanie? That's probably the easy one. So, Melanie, do you have anything exciting coming up within the next week or so?
Well, tonight I have my final fitting for my fashion wear. So I'll be all ready with that. I had someone local make it. She's a fashion designer, seamstress here, so I wanted to support local with my fashion wear. So I'm excited for that tonight. And then obviously this weekend is Canada Galaxy. It's been a long time waiting for it. So I'm very excited that it's finally here. And I'm going to be meeting girls that I've been chatting with online for like almost 2 years now. So,
Wow, you're actually real. I thought you were just a figment of my imagination.
Like, this is not VR anymore. It's
yeah,
like a virtual reality. But we've had like a Snapchat group, so we kept in touch with like the Miss Division, and then there's actually some women that like we have like a local group too, and I haven't even met them in person. Like I've talked to them like constantly, and I've never met them. So that's even sort of weird. But I'm glad it's happening in person. It's not going to be virtual. Yeah. I'll get to see real people, and obviously, like there'll be like there's still restrictions. Like we'll probably be wearing obviously we'll be wearing masks because that's Ontario mandate and stuff. But there'll be a little bit of an audience, and I'll get to do a pageant for the first time in person in 6 years. Yeah, it's been that long. So I'm excited for that. And then honestly, after that, I'm not even sure. So like that's the extent of what's going on this week.
That's as far as we've looked. We haven't looked past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's as it should be. Well, from all of us, good luck. Bon chance. I'm sure it would. Just like riding a bike, it'll come back to you, even if you haven't done it for 6 years.
We'll be watching.
You'll be amazing.
You just reminded me, actually, I need to buy my virtual ticket.
Yeah, so there's virtual tickets for everybody. I guess I'll plug that in here because Cindy's going to be like, mention it. She's like, mention it to all your friends. There's virtual tickets for Canada Galaxy if anybody's interested in seeing.
Available on the website?
Yeah, I can send you the link if you'd like.
Oh, yep. If you want to send it to me now, I can actually put it in the comments or something.
Sure.
So whilst Melanie does that, Danielle or Chloe, anything exciting coming up? Although it's still like the idea that you two are going to actually see each other in person is blowing my mind. Yay! And I'm jealous. Both of those things. But anything exciting coming up for you two?
We'll get a cardboard cutout of you. And
make it life size.
Do it actually. Just like take them all over.
We'll take them all around London, and we'll get pictures in the London Eye, and then we'll get
take them.
You make me like doing like make me like you gotta have a funny like I got a thumbs up or something so everyone can have a picture. With.
I've got a cardboard cutout of Gino DeCampo. Don't ask why. It was my nana's as a gift for Christmas. Yeah, she loves them, so my mum got her cardboard cutout. So what we could do is we could put Adrian's face on Gino.
Do it.
You have to fly Gino over though. Are you flying?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I can just like carry him on the plane. Can you imagine me walking in the airplane?
Yeah, but buy him a ticket on the plane, and he can sit next to you. Can dress him up and everything. So, anything exciting coming up for you two?
Go on, Chloe. You got anything finishing up?
Yeah, well, I finish work on Friday, and then just over the next few weeks it's just going to be hectic. I've got London coming up, I've Miss GB coming up, I've a hen party in Liverpool with Eden as well, and then we're also considering doing a trip to Greece. Meg Kenny was looking at all these different like routes around Greece. And we're thinking of traveling around, possibly if it doesn't clash with my masters. Danielle, you're welcome to come if you want.
I think I've taken up all my holiday at work, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I haven't even left the side of the world.
Oh my goodness.
So the furthest
I feel you, Melanie. I haven't been anywhere else.
And that's just south, so haven't been to Europe, haven't been to Australia. No, I really want to travel.
Don't come to Australia, we'll shoot you. We've got the army out patrolling the streets.
Yeah, not right now.
You're always welcome to visit us in Europe. We'll show you around.
I will take you up on that.
Yay! Yeah. Miss Chatting Tatum comes to Europe. Yeah.
Can you, Chloe, rather than putting me on Gino's body, can you put me on Channing's body, please?
That's a good choice.
Please.
When he is in shape.
I don't know. You know,
Magic
back in
Mike.
the
Magic Mike body.
Exactly. Yeah, I need the six pack. So if you could put my face on his body, like maybe even if you draw it in with like a marker or something,
Contour the
appreciate
body
that.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's cardboard. So you can just, shape it with a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Plastic surgery at its finest. Miss Latimer?
I have a very exciting photo shoot happening on Saturday where I will be the photographer for Miss. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but screw it. No one's. I don't know if anyone, Paula ain't watching this. Miss Universe Great Britain and Miss Wales. I will be doing a photo shoot with them on Saturday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday I'll be up at Diamond, which is a pageant here, which goes to Regency International, I believe. So I'll be driving up to Miss Diamond.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And that'll be, I think there's quite a lot of us going to that. So it'll be a nice big reunion again. It's over Sunday and Monday, which is a bit random.
Weird.
But there is, I think, the fashion wear round and interviews happening on the Sunday. And then Monday is like more like a final show. So that should be fun to see everyone there. It's being held at quite a nice hotel. So Monday, I probably won't be on the podcast. I'm telling you now. So next week, I don't know who our guest is, but I probably won't be here because I'll probably be driving back home from Southport, I believe it is.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. I am sorting out next week's guest out, but we'll see if we can maybe shift it to another night. Just before we wrap up, so Melanie has sent me the link. So here you go. So it is. I was going to say there's quite a long link. So if you go to CanadaGalaxyPageants.com, I'll whack it in the comments here if I can. Yeah, so CanadaGalaxyPageants.com/shop, and then it's a long URL that you won't remember. But go to the Canada Galaxy page, or you can go to their Instagram, and the link in the bio takes you to their website where you can purchase a ticket. 2 p.m. Miss show. There's only 13. I don't know. That's probably the in-person one when it says only 13 left.
Yeah, it's the one with all of them.
That's the live in the top
one.
left.
Yeah.
There you go. Miss 2 p.m., 4 p.m. So juniors for 4 p.m. would be around 6 a.m. my time.
This is so exciting.
The miss would be at 2 in the morning for me or something.
Well, I stayed
that'll
up
be
till
interesting.
2 in the morning, or God knows, I think I went to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
when Galaxy Junior and Beza Latina was on. So
yes,
dedication to the cause.
Yeah,
that's you though. I am not crazy.
Can you imagine you two went to internationals together? Like, how fun would that be? Then you'd have to take my cardboard cutout because I would.
Yeah.
Or I could just come watch. Yeah, that's a better idea.
Say, why wouldn't you just go?
Just go.
Why wouldn't you just go?
Do it.
I will.
Where's it normally held?
YOLO.
It's in the States.
Well, usually it's been held in Florida for the past.
And it was going to be Chicago.
Then it moved to Chicago.
That was the one that was cancelled.
And then there was rumours of it being in the Bahamas and then Puerto Rico, but I think it's pretty much confirmed that it's going to be in Texas for 2022.
Oh.
Yeah. So there was
barbecue.
There was loads of hints. So at the back of the program at Beza Latina and Junior Galaxy, it had "See you in Texas 2022." So there was a little hint there. Crystal Cavey put it on her story, and I was like, "What?" She was like, "It's the back of the program." So I don't know. I just took a picture of it, and then what else happened? Something else happened, which I can't remember. I think there was a thing. Someone said something on the night. Texas is the home of Galaxy. The new home of Galaxy. So I think it's pretty much going to be Texas, but South Texas. So
I always want.
So I think after the pageant, I'm going to plan like a little trip to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to want to go to an all-inclusive and, fill up on the buffet
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So whether I'm celebrating or commiserating, I'm going to have a mojito in hand.
Yes.
Just
It's a
one.
celebration either way.
It is.
You've done amazing. You both have. I'm so proud of you guys. And I'm so excited.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of exciting things
Yeah.
that everyone has planned that I'm extremely jealous of and can't do any of. So
Aw.
we'll leave it at that.
You might be able to by then.
Right.
Yeah. July, August
No.
2022.
You
No.
don't think so?
Yeah.
I would have been shot by the army for trying to escape and trying to protest that all of this doesn't make any sense and I'm sick of it.
No, I reckon.
So if
I
you
reckon
see
by then-
Australian man gets shot for ranting at the top of the harbour bridge, that was me.
No, you got a whole year. You'll be fine.
Yeah. There's still a lot of time. I'm gonna be optimistic about it.
You're double jabbed now, aren't you?
There's a lot of time in lockdown, Melanie. I do have a lot of time. A lot of time. I am double jabbed as of last Friday, and because there's nothing happening in lockdown, I'm thinking of getting jabbed again just for the fun of it. I'm going to try the vaccine buffet. I'm going to review the vaccines. I'm going to try all the vaccines.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, I've had the Pfizer. I'll review the Pfizer, and I'll give it a score out of 10. Then next week, I'm going to go have the AstraZeneca.
You're going to
side-by-side
OD.
comparison. Then I'll have the Moderna one, and then I'll try the Chinese one, which doesn't work, but don't tell anyone who got it. And then,
You're very Trump
the
with
Russian
these.
one, the Russian one, the Sputnik. Got to try that
The
one.
Russian one.
The Russian one. It's the China virus. Yeah. So I'm going to now become a vaccination reviewer.
Wow. A new job on the market. There you go.
Exactly. And then I'll have all the microchips in my body,
Yes,
so
all
all
of
the
them.
governments of the world can track what I'm doing because they really
Don't
care
stand
about
too
my
close to
life.
anything
Because the
magnetic.
5G is going to activate it, right? The 5G.
Yep.
And
And I have my tin foil hat ready to go. And that's my life for the next 6 months or so. So there you go.
Speaking of
I'm gonna be
tinfoil
super
hat,
vaccinated.
I watched the weirdest documentary the other night. It's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And like these people were like getting into groups and like meditating together, and they were all like seeing all this alien stuff. It's weird.
Huh.
I mean, like I don't know if I believe it. I low-key am a little gullible.
You believe in aliens. You
I
live it.
do.
I'm a believer. I want to believe. X-Files. The truth is out there.
What's the army base in the States? What's it? Area 51.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember last year there was an event that was called Storm Area 51?
Let me see them aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would go really well. Storming an army base in America, that's going to go really well for you. Like just have at it. I'll watch whilst I'm having my vaccines here, but yeah, you go have it and you prove that there's a conspiracy because they shoot you all on sight.
I remember the day it was scheduled for, and I was like, did anybody actually go? I was in the group, like, just like, as for fun. I'm just like, I needed to see what people were posting. And it seems like most people just joined for jokes. But
yeah, you're as bad as like Daniel and Chloe. Chloe, they joined something on Clubhouse just to make fun of them.
Yeah.
What was that thing?
No.
You were egging them on. What was the thing that you guys joined?
Yeah,
the tomato. My hand's a tomato. Oh my God, me too. It's like, yeah.
I
would actually love.
Better to do.
I didn't know if anybody actually went though. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. No, I would actually love to have an alien-based podcast where anyone who's like claimed to have been abducted by aliens in the past, have them on as guests, hear their stories. I mean,
like it's entertaining. Like hearing stuff like that, it's entertaining.
I do believe in aliens to an extent, but I don't believe if they're gonna talk to anyone or have contact with anyone, it's not going to be with old Billy down the road, and it is not. I think they're gonna, if they do exist, they're going to be far more intelligent than us. I don't know if you saw, I'm on like the weird side of TikTok, and there was a video that went around recently that there's a pyramid, like pyramid statue thing in Egypt, and they've tested the substance that it's made of, and it's not from Earth. And it's that dense that they can't like etch anything into it, but it got etched hieroglyphics into it. But that would only been able to have been done with that precision with lasers. They wouldn't have been able to do that with any kind of tools. So, and this thing is thousands of years old. So they're like, yeah, like there's definitely like higher technologies out there to, you know, created those kind of etchings on this type of substance.
And then there was that weird case in Zimbabwe as well, where all these school kids all saw the same thing, and they all had the exact same story.
What did they see?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I'll send you the link afterwards, but it just kind of makes you think a little bit. That
yeah, there's a lot that's unexplained. Like it's fun to like, even if it isn't true or what, you know, it's fun to hear, like, and people can't explain it, so who knows.
Next week we will now be an alien podcast.
Yeah,
can we get a person that's had an alien experience on
Let's
pageants and conspiracies.
I'm gonna bring a conspiracy theorist on. I feel like I need to hear about all the things that I just don't understand. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we turn into a pageant.
Misconspiracy.
We'll have a pageant where, you know, the prerequisite for entry is you need to be a conspiracy theorist, or you need to believe in aliens.
You believe in it,
and then everything to do with the pageant will be alien based. Or
that's the one pageant I would win.
You gotta wear your alien wear.
But what if someone came onto it and said that they were an alien? Because there's people like that exist. Specifically, do you know that woman that I think she's Russian, and she made herself look like Barbie? She made herself look like Barbie. She's known as the human Barbie, and now she's saying she's actually an alien.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. And there are some people trying to turn themselves.
Yeah, she says she survives on like air and sunlight alone. Like she doesn't eat. And she's like,
she's a plant.
She's a liar. She's a liar. She's snuffling food when no one's looking.
You bring her on this show. There you go.
Yeah.
I missed the days when the weirdest things we talked about was the fact that I said pasta and not pasta.
You know what? I was going to make a comment on that. Pasta is like American. Like I hear people from Michigan say pasta, and like we say pasta. Yeah. So I'm saying that Americans say pasta. I hear that in the States.
There's no R.
Pasta.
Does it sound like an R?
It does sound like there's an R in
P-A-R-S-T-A. Yeah, but then Danny, you guys say dance.
I say dance.
There's no R in dance.
Dance.
Yeah.
Dance.
Bar.
The bar. Yeah. So I don't know.
R.
We can argue about accents another time.
Okay.
Chloe, go find us a conspiracy theorist, or if you just want to appear as your normal self or your alter ego next week, and we can discuss all things conspiracy theories, aliens. I do believe there's something out there, but I agree with Danielle. I think if it was that intelligent to come here, the first thing the thing it wouldn't do is go somewhere over Area 51 or find a redneck and probe where the sun doesn't shine. Right? It's like, no, you wouldn't do that. Probably make contact with Elon Musk because he's going to be the one in space, isn't he?
What made this show I watched the other day so weird is it's because like you kind of connect with them through your mind. So these people were like meditating, and like in their head they could see like Google Maps, and they were like guiding the aliens to their exact point in their mind, like through the cities, through the towns, like right to their pinpoint place. And it's whenever all these people, the aliens. Yeah, no, the people. So this is how they were communicating. And then there's this one man who said that he was deaf, And there was actually these light figures. There's pictures of these light figures, like almost looking like it was sitting beside him. And then he said that night he was cured from his hearing loss, and like he took out his hearing aid the next morning and he never used it again. And like the weird thing is there was loads of other people around him. They all saw it too. And there's pictures of like these like light beings like sitting beside them. And the weirdest thing is the doctor who made this documentary actually created an app that helps you meditate for, like, you know, wanting to see whatever it is these people are seeing. But like I don't know, skeptical about it.
You have downloaded that app, haven't you, Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe it, but I don't know.
But you do.
You do a little bit, I think. Like
she's signed up. She's not
Yeah.
really going to study a master's. She's off to America to go meditate with these people.
Yeah, they actually have a little club.
I'm just like picturing people in a cornfield, like at nighttime, like in a circle meditating, like,
singing Kumbaya.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
They do hug therapy as well, where you all hug each other.
Let's leave it there. Yeah. Before we go too much down the rabbit hole. And we will see you guys next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder to you entrepreneurial types to come and join us at our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the pageant boss. I'll see you inside and see you in the next episode.